Kim Soo Hyun. It's starting to feel like every time this man's name is mentioned in a controversy at the moment, the real story isn't just about what he did, but it is about the women who have suffered in the wake of his success. One of the most glaring examples, the way actress and former idol Sulli was treated during and after her involvement in the 2017 movie Real, a project that became more notorious for the misogynistic backlash she endured than for anything about the film itself. With new allegations surfacing about Kim Soo Hyun's past, many people are now busy taking a new look at the entertainment industry's double standards. In this video, we'll be looking into Kim Soo Hyun, how he reportedly added to the hate campaign against Sulli, and how the top actor allegedly used the industry's tendency to disproportionately blame, ridicule, and discard female celebrities while shielding male stars to hide his own personal advantage. Please note that a lot of the details in today's video are still up for debate, and whether or not Kim Soo Hyun was directly responsible for specific events is still uncertain. However, the patterns of behaviour, industry dynamics, and public reactions paint a troubling picture of how female celebrities like Sulli have been treated. Ready to dive in? Let's go! Before Real was even in production, Kim Soo Hyun was already known as one of the top actors in the South Korean entertainment industry. His breakout roles in hit dramas like Dream High and My Love from the Star had propelled him to the top, turning him into a household name, not only in South Korea but across the whole of Asia. With his boyish charm, undeniable screen presence, and carefully curated public image, Kim Soo Hyun wasn't just a popular actor, he was adored. His charming personality and clean-cut reputation made him the perfect endorsement magnet, securing him lucrative deals with top brands, and Kim Soo Hyun was everywhere, from billboards to commercials, solidifying his status as an A-list celebrity. Yet, as we'll come to find out, behind the scenes there were already red flags. However, his fans were quick to dismiss any criticism, fiercely defending him against even the slightest controversy. While the industry worked overtime to keep his star rising, the same couldn't be said for his female co-stars. When the movie Real was announced in April of 2015, it was widely marketed as Kim Soo Hyun's highly anticipated return to the big screen, after the massive success of My Love from the Star. With his skyrocketing popularity, the hype was undeniable. People were excited to see Kim Soo Hyun take on a bold neo-noir action thriller, one that promised a dark, complex story about a casino mogul caught up in a deadly underworld. The movie was supposed to be Kim Soo Hyun's big leap from rom-com heartthrob to serious action star. But let's be real, that's not what anyone ended up remembering. Instead, the film became infamous for all of the wrong reasons. In December 2015, reports started coming out that actress Sulli had been offered a leading role in Real, and the public reaction was immediate and vicious. Almost instantly, online forums erupted, calling her a disaster waiting to happen. The hate, however, wasn't based on Sulli's actual acting skills. She had already established herself as a capable actress by this time, but on her critically scrutinized public image. You see, as a former member of the K-pop group FX, Sulli had been unfairly branded as controversial simply because she refused to conform to what people expected of her as an idol. The backlash only got worse when, a few months later, it was revealed that she would be filming an explicit scene for the film. Rather than viewing this as a professional decision, the haters immediately jumped to shaming Sulli, manipulating the situation to fit their own story. In a twisted irony, some even framed Kim Soo Hyun as the victim in all of this, as if Sulli's involvement in the film had somehow hurt his reputation. Not only was this unbelievably cruel, but it was also just flat out wrong. What most people didn't realize at the time, or simply chose to ignore, was that Real was, in many ways, Kim Soo Hyun's movie more than anyone else's. If you actually take a look at the movie's production, you'll notice that Kim Soo Hyun's cousin, Lee So-rung, although some rumours claim they're actually half-brothers, was the one who directed Real. About the movie, Kim Soo Hyun even said, "I hope this film becomes my biggest hit, as it is the last I will make in my 20s. It was the most frightening script I'd ever received. The story would not leave my head and I couldn't sleep. So I decided to shoot this film." So with this context, we can see that Kim Soo Hyun was deeply invested in the movie. Yet, when the backlash against Sulli escalated to the point of the scandal becoming the movie's main marketing, he remained silent. Even when his fans doubled down on blaming Sulli as being the reason that the film was destined to fail, Kim Soo Hyun made no public attempt to defend her, nor did he push back against the misogynistic stories that were taking over the media, despite the fact that Real was already getting side eyes for its messy plot, choppy editing, and obsession with style over substance. Instead of calling out the real problems, people zeroed in on Sulli, completely ignoring the fact that the film had way bigger issues. By the time that Real's marketing campaign began, it became more and more clear that Sulli being in an adult scene was being exploited for publicity. At a certain point, it felt like nobody even cared about the actual plot of the movie. The entire conversation was centered around Sulli's body and her risque role. The promotional materials fixated on her character, while the articles that were coming out at the time sensationalized every little detail, twisting the story to make it seem like she was using the controversy for attention. Poor Sulli couldn't escape the topic anywhere she went, being asked about it in nearly every interview. No matter what else she had to say about her work, the focus always circled back to the same thing. At the press conference, she responded thoughtfully, saying, "I don't think the adult scene, was easy. It was a huge challenge for me. Acting-wise and in other areas. It was hard, and I had a lot of concerns, but it was fun. I think I have a lot of ambition when it comes to acting. It grew when I was shooting this film. I felt something like a sense of achievement while acting. But despite all the noise around the scene, the scrutiny was completely one-sided. While Sulli was endlessly criticized, Kim Soo Hyun walked away unscathed. No one questioned why he had backed such an inexperienced director, or why Real was shaping up to be a complete disaster. To make matters worse, in May of 2017, just before the movie's release, at the official press conference, when Sulli struggled to articulate a response to a reporter's question, Kim Soo Hyun reportedly publicly scolded her, telling her to speak normally. His tone, rather than playful or supportive, was allegedly patronizing and dismissive, making an already tense situation even worse. By the time the movie finally hit the theaters a few weeks later, it was already set to be a disaster. With some calling it the worst movie in Korean history, Real received mostly negative reviews during its initial release. In fact, the South China Morning Post described the film as Blade Runner meets The Matrix meets Cirque du Soleil in an overblown, overly long and nonsensical film that at times looked more like a cheap perfume ad than a high-concept thriller. The director's first film, it could also be his last. Not only was the movie widely criticised for its incoherent plot, but also for the film's clumsy execution and overall lack of direction, which just went to prove that the backlash against Sulli had been nothing more than a convenient diversion from the movie's actual flaws. Yet, even after the film's failure, no one apologised for not publicly defending her. The industry moved on, critics turned their attention elsewhere, and Kim Soo Hyun's career remained unchanged. So why are people suddenly talking about this moment now, almost 8 years later? Well, in the last few weeks, several disturbing claims have come to light that suggest that Kim Soo Hyun had been in a relationship with actress Kim Sae-ron while she was still underage. Although it has not been confirmed, according to Sae-ron's aunt, the two began dating when Sae-ron was just 15 years old, while Soo Hyun was in his late 20s, around the time that Real was being released. This revelation instantly got the internet going crazy, especially after a photo came out that showed Kim Soo Hyun looking like he was kissing the young actress on the cheek during his military service. While the agency that Kim Soo Hyun founded with the Real director Lee So-rung, Gold Medalist, attempted to damage control by strongly insisting that Kim Soo Hyun's relationship with Kim Sae-ron had only started in 2019, after she had become a legal adult, many netizens pointed out that not only was the company being inconsistent with what they were saying, but the photos proved that they were taken before 2019, fueling speculation that his agency was busy covering up the truth. This has all come out after Kim Sae-ron tragically took her own life on Kim Soo Hyun's birthday on the 16th of February 2025. In the aftermath, her family has accused Soo Hyun of not just dating Kim Sae-ron when she was underage, but also financially pressuring her after her devastating DUI incident that led Kim Sae-ron's career spiraling downward. Reportedly, Kim Soo Hyun sued Kim Sae-ron, who had been signed by Gold Medalist, for damages, despite her allegedly begging him for help. At the same time as this evidence of Kim Soo Hyun's relationship with Kim Sae-ron has been coming out and shocking the internet, Former employees from Kim Soo Hyun's management company Gold Medalist have also publicly claimed that actress Seo Ye-ji had been used as a scapegoat to divert attention from internal issues at the company. Since 2021, Seo Ye-ji, who had been managed by Gold Medalist, has been in the middle of a series of damaging scandals that have massively derailed her career. For example, she had been accused of manipulating her actor ex-boyfriend, when leaked text messages showed Seo Ye-ji allegedly telling him to avoid contact with female co-stars. Around the same time, Seo Ye-ji was also being called a school bully and being accused of mistreating her staff and even falsifying her academic record, further hurting her public image. However, a former employee is now arguing that the agency had made up these scandals to distract attention from issues at Gold Medalist and to protect the other high-profile artists linked to the agency, including Kim Soo Hyun. In response to these allegations, Seo Ye-ji has publicly expressed her frustration and firmly made it clear that she doesn't want to be associated with Kim Soo Hyun or Gold Medalist anymore, while Gold Medalist has called the accusations baseless and irresponsible false information. Looking back, Kim Soo Hyun's speedy rise to international fame has undoubtedly been fueled by his talent and charm, but at what cost? The way he has reportedly impacted the women around him raises some serious red flags about how toxic the power dynamics are in the world of South Korean entertainment. With these new scandals surfacing, including his supposed relationship with an underage Kim Sae-ron and his silence during the backlash against Sulli during Real's promotion, it's becoming harder to ignore the troubling pattern. Of course, it's always good to take these stories with a grain of salt, but what do you think? Has Kim Soo Hyun been using these women to boost his own career, or is the internet jumping to conclusions and you want to wait before condemning Kim Soo Hyun? Let me know in the comment section below, and while you're there, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.